Welcome to Studio 5. We are in conversation this week, an intimate one-on-one with the legendary singer and songwriter, Candi Staton. A sweet blend of disco, R&B, and gospel.
God, yeah, makes something wonderful out of something wonderful.
Candi Staton's music makes a statement.
If you tell me no, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
And earns a surprise 2026 Grammy nomination.
That was the last thing I was expecting to hear.
Really?
40 years?
It's a journey from humble beginnings in the music industry.
Let's go back to the early years for a little bit. So Bishop Jewel discovers you and your sister.
Those were good days. I was 12.
It breaks up to start over again.
And Candi gets candid about abuse she suffered.
That was when this abusive husband, he was a gangster. I've married some horrible people.
That and more in this one-on-one with Candi Staton. At the heart of Candi Staton's return to the spotlight is her latest album, Back to My Roots. It earned her a 2026 Grammy nomination, her 5th nomination, but her first in 40 years.
God so knows about the rainbow sign. It won't be water, but fire next time.
Let's go back to, at least for now, where were you when you get the news that your latest project is nominated for a Grammy? How'd you get it?
That was the last thing I was expecting to hear.
Really?
40 years?
Whoa.
I had 4 of them earlier, 4 nominations, but I never got a, never won.
Uh-huh.
And so Bill Carpenter, bless his heart, he kept pushing and he kept pushing. He don't give up.
I love it.
And he just kept pushing. You don't get a Grammy. I'm putting you in. I said, I don't even want to do this album.
Oh, no.
I said, I really don't want to do it. He said, you're going to do this album. You're going to go back to your roots, the roots. We want a roots album and put it in the roots section. I said, what is that? He said, it's a section in the Grammys where there's, you go back to the old things that you used to do. And you do the songs and you go back. We did It's Gonna Rain,
Yes.
Mama's song, my mother's song.
Yes, uh-huh.
And we went back to all that Peace in the Valley with my sister Maggie.
Yes.
And I wrote quite a few of the songs. One of the songs that really touched me, I guess, I don't know why it did, because it's so mean. Reach down and touch heaven for me, where I played the piano.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And everybody think God is up there, but he's down there.
Yeah, with you.
With people
Yeah.
that's begging for bread, people that don't have places to live, people that are hungry, people that are begging, people that just don't have it together. They're on the verge of suicide. That's where Jesus is. That's where the Holy Spirit comes in.
Yeah.
Right there. And that's where we come in as his advocates. And we reach down there and we pick them up and we give to them and we help them. That makes him happy.
Yes.
That's his heaven.
He says
That's
it's the
his
least
heaven.
of these.
For the least of these, do it unto the least of these. And that's what we do. That's my joy.
I will say, while we're talking about the tracks on the project, one that makes me cry is not you singing, but when you talk about 1963.
Oh my God. Yes. I was there. We were guests at this local church. And we were in Birmingham. At the time, I was married to my kid's father. And I had 2 little boys, Marcel and Marcus.
Wow.
And I was pregnant with my 3rd little boy. And we were there, and I had already sung, preparing for the pastor to preach. And this deacon burst through the door, and he said, get up and get out. Now, he said, there's been a catastrophe. Down the street, he said, there 4 little girls just got killed. 16th Street Baptist Church just got blown up. And he said, y'all need to get out because it's a mess. It's a mess, and you got to go through Birmingham to get to where you're going. And I'm like, wow. We got up everything. We put everything together. Whoa, we got downtown. It was a mess. People were throwing bottles. People were breaking in stores. People were pushing cars over. Somehow through prayer and keeping our minds focused on God, he brought us through that. And my two little boys on the floor, they were crying and shaking, and Mommy, we gonna die. I said, no, you're not gonna die. We getting home. And so we got through it. And the little girls' names was what bothered me. Nobody recognized their names. Little Cynthia Weston, little Carol Robinson, little Denise McNair, and little Addie Mae Collins. Love is gonna win.
Candi Staton's Grammy-nominated album is called Back to My Roots. It's available wherever you stream, download, or purchase your music. And still ahead, a sweet look back at Candi's music history. And welcome back to our candid conversation, a one-on-one with Candi Staton. We mentioned she began her music journey 7 decades ago, and it all started with the group Jewel Gospel Trio.
Let's go back to the early years for a little bit. So Bishop Jewel discovers you and your sister.
Yeah.
And starts you guys off.
Jewel Gospel Trio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those were good days. I was 12.
12?
12, yeah. With the same type voice I have now. I sound
At
like
12?
I can prove it. If you go up on the internet, you can bring down some of the songs that the Jewel Gospel Trio did. I think you still got them up there someplace. You can find them.
Okay.
And we had perfect harmony. And the good thing, we had a full-fledged band in the 50s. Now everybody gonna say, we started the bands. No, you didn't. Stop lying. You know you didn't have no band in the 50s. Yeah. They wouldn't let bands in churches. You know, they said that was the devil's music.
Right, that's right.
But Bishop Jewel, her whole church was like, you thought you was at a disco when you went into her church, because we be dancing, honey, all in front. We had a guitar player, drummer, keyboards, gospel steel.
Oh, wow.
And keyboard. I mean, we had it going on.
I love it.
And so my sister-in-law took us to the church, and they had a Tuesday night. On Tuesday nights, they had contest, and they called us up that night. We tore it up.
I love it.
We started singing. The folks started dancing. I looked around, the Swanee Quintet, the Blind Boys.
Oh, wow.
Ruth Davis and the Davis sisters, the Caravans, everybody was standing behind us as we tore the place down with the music. We had 3 little girls. All 3 of us had lead voices. My sister had a lead voice. I had just 3 lead voices, and the youngest was 9, and I was 12. My sister was 14.
Wow.
And so we wore socks and petticoats and little ponytails and bangs, and we looked like little children. Oh. And we get out there with a band like that, we was a phenomenon.
In case you can't tell, I love Candi Staton. She's also an author, by the way. Her books include Young Hearts Run Free, Beyond a Shadow of a Doubt, and This Is My Story. Ahead, Candi shares personal stories of a few well-known, influential figures. Young Hearts Run Free is a familiar tune heard around the world. Candi released it back in 1976. She's got quite an emotional connection to the song, and she understands why it still resonates with audiences today.
You'll get the babies, but you won't have your man. While he's busy loving every woman that he can.
Young Hearts Run Free. You're still known for it. You've got the kids
Always
singing
will.
it now.
That song will never go. It'll never go out.
And you were just telling a story about yourself to Mr. Crawford, and he...
No, well, actually, I was with this abusive husband. He was a gangster. I've married some horrible people. But you know what? It was all in my journey to make me strong as I am today. Everything you go through, God allows that to make you stronger. And you don't back down. You don't say, no, I fight. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. The man said he would kill my children. He would kill my mama. He would kill everybody if I left him. And I was scared of him. I was so scared of him. I didn't know I couldn't leave him because he promised to kill my kids and everything. And he was horrible. And David was my first producer with Warner Brothers. And I would sit there and talk to him. I said, David, hey man, what can I do with this? I said, his guy said he was gonna kill my kids. And he said, he'd be writing. He just kept writing. I'm like, what is he writing? He said, yeah. Well, you know, you're gonna be all right. I said, yeah, I hope so. I said, but I said, he got me afraid. I said, this is the first one I ever been really afraid of. But he kept writing. He just kept writing. David had fasted 40 days. And he said, I asked God to give me a song that would never go away. Give me a song that would never go away. He said, this song will never end. You're gonna have a song forever. Generations after generations will be able to sing this song. So he went in the studio and he said, you go to lunch, go to lunch. So I went to lunch. He said, by the time you come back, I'll have the second verse. I said, okay, all right. So I went to lunch, came back. He said, you ready? I said, well, yeah. He said, let's go in the vocal booth. I sung it down once, just once. And he said, you can come in now, I got what I want.
Wow.
He said, you'll never be able to put that feeling in the next one. I said, no, I want to do it again. I said, I was just practicing. He said, no, you weren't practicing. You weren't practicing. That was from your heart. He said, that's what I want. And that's how Young Hearts Run Free was birthed. It is just amazing what that song is saying. It's a sad song with a joyful beat.
Nothing
That's
like it.
the story of Young Hearts Run Free.
Run free, they'll never be hung up like my man and me.
Throughout Candi's career, she's met influential people who've made a difference in her life, including Jim and Tammy Faye Baker and the legendary Ray Charles.
It's so high, it's time to stop. That is where the real answers lie.
Let me name a few people for you and just get your reaction because I know you have connection to them. Ray Charles.
Oh, gosh. Gosh. Oh, my goodness, Ray. I opened for him at the Aladdin for 5 days. And we became good friends in 5 days. That's what I was drinking. The Lord delivered me from alcohol. You know, I was in alcoholic for 13 years, but God delivered me from that. I used to go down to his dressing room every night. We would spend an hour before I went on before him. And he would order amaretto and coffee in a thermos. And we'd sit there and drink amaretto and coffee. And we'd get a little tipsy, you know. And he said, you know you're female Ray Charles. I said, what? What are you saying? Yeah, I said, what are you talking about? He said, you sing gospel, you're part gospel, country, and R&B. And you mix them somehow together like I do. And it comes out very soulful. He said, that's what I'm saying. I said, you know, you are right. And I loved him, and I got a chance to walk him to the stage in New York for the last time. He died probably a year later. I was at his dressing room. I was on the show with the David Guest had a lot of us on the show that night. And I walked him to the dressing. I knocked on the door. I said, Ray. He said, yeah. I said, tell Ray Candi Staton's out here, want to see him. He said, wait a minute, wait till I put my pants on. He said, I'll be right out. I wanted to walk me to the stage. And I did. I walked him and I had him like this, on his arm. And we talked. I said, how are you really doing? Because his feet were swollen.
Yeah.
And he had on house shoes, And I said, how are you really doing? And I talked to him about God. I said, do you really know the Lord? I said, I want you to know Jesus. I said, we don't know when God's going to call us home, but I really want you to know him. Ray, I want to spend eternity with you. And so I walked him to the stage. We sat there for a moment and talked, and they called him home. I went back to my dressing room, but I knew him so well. I loved Ray.
I'm so much in love with you. All I ever want to do is thank you, baby.
Candi is still relevant. Her Grammy-nominated album, again, is called Back to My Roots. It's available wherever you purchase your music material. Still to come, Candi's miracle story and an answer to prayer for her son. Welcome back to my one-on-one conversation with Candi Staton. She shares how the power of God helped her son, Terry, who was involved in an accident.
It was grace that brought me, safe. My baby son was ran over by a car, and he was drugged like 3 feet. And that's the greatest miracle I've ever seen in my life. It's my son, Terry. He was 2, going on 3. And he was going in the back of the car, and my ex-husband didn't see him, and he drugged him about 3 feet. And all the skin on one side of his face was off. The skin was completely off. And I stood him up, and he would just flop to the ground. And I stood him up again, he flopped to the ground. I said, Jesus, what am I supposed to do? Because that church didn't believe in doctors. I looked up to the sky and I said, Lord, what am I supposed to do? I said, you mean to tell me you want me to take this little boy? He said, I am going to heal him. And he said it so plain, it was almost audible. I'm going to heal him. So we went on, I wrapped him up, kind of wiped him off. He was all dirty. I took his little clothes and wrapped him up in a blanket, and he was just humming like, doing that. And so I knew he was in pain. He was in shock as well. But you know what? We brought him back to the home, but now the DJ wanted to call the police on us. And a deacon went in there and said, I wouldn't touch that if I were you. And he stopped calling the police. I passed three emergency rooms. Could have taken to any of them. But I believed God. It was so real. He said, I'm going to heal him. And I said, okay, you said you're going to heal him, you're going to heal him.
Wow.
So I brought him back home, and he was still whining. And he could only use one of his elbows and he drug himself like a broken cat, like a cat. When he's broken down, he would whine and go across the bed like this. And I said, I never left his side. I just stood there and prayed in the spirit. I just prayed, God, when you gonna heal him? And so about 3 o'clock that morning, the saints came by and they prayed over him and they sung songs and they just sat there and I'm telling you, I didn't sleep. At about 3 a.m. in the morning, this old country preacher, never been on TV before in his life, just on the radio, got his overalls on. I went through the corn patch to knock on his door. He lived about a couple of, maybe a half a mile, maybe not even that far, maybe a fourth of a mile somewhere. I went through the corn patch, 3 o'clock in the morning, knocked on his door. I said, L. Williams, I said, you got to come, he's worse. He said, I'll be there in a minute. just as calm. That's when I learned timing. There is a difference in you just laying hands on somebody and thinking they're going to get healed. There is timing. God, it's timing.
Yeah.
And Elder William knew timing. So he put on his old overalls and came back. We had a big picture window. That's when we had a picture window. And I'm sitting there on the couch, and he said, bring that boy here. He was crying. And I took him and sat him in his lap. He sat there in his lap, and he was just whining. He was just crying. I was like, what are you waiting on? And he was just sitting there, And he was like, no, it's gonna be it was in October. He said, it's gonna be a cold winter. I said, it ain't about winter, it's about, why you go there? You go in the winter. When you got to heal this boy needs you, Jesus. And he was like, yeah, it's getting cold out there. I said, yes, sir, it sure is. And I said, okay. So in a few minutes, he said, he just looked up and he said, he hit him in his back. Heal in the name of Jesus. He said, now go run to your mama. And he come running to me and he said, stop crying. He said, eat. He hadn't eaten all day. I said, okay. So I got him some grits. Went in there and fixed him some grits. Gave him some grits. He laid in my lap and he went to sleep. I put him in his baby bed. Now, mind you, his face is still dripping water. I laid him on his other side where he went to sleep. I had got a little rest. Now, remember getting up, I heard him jumping up and down. You remember the baby beds that you could pull up the sides?
Yes,
the big old sides. He was in there just jumping. I said, keep jumping. I ran in there. I said, oh my goodness. The skin was back. Brother, give me 5. The skin was back just like mine. Like nothing ever happened to him. That was one of the greatest miracles I have ever seen. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Of him, there's no other. Jesus is the way.
You can read more on her son's miracle in her book, Beyond a Shadow of Doubt. Before we say goodbye, we want to give the final word to Candi Staton.
What do you think it is about what you have done? You've been in this industry now 7 decades, I guess it would be safe
75 years.
75 years. That's allowed you to last, because it hasn't all been good, but you're still doing this.
Yeah, I'm going to do it until the Lord calls me home. That's my job. He gave me a purpose, and I'm standing on that purpose. I'm standing firm. Nothing can stop me. I've had all kinds of obstacles. Satan has tried every trick in the book to kill me, because he can't kill me, because God ain't gonna let him. Been through cancer. I've been through divorces. I've been through hard times. I've been through everything that you can imagine. I'm a mother of 5 grown children that I was a single mom that had to raise them by myself. Because, you see, one thing about me, you got to understand, I'm not going to take it. See, I'm not taking a lot of stuff a lot of people would take. And I promised God that I would never have to take anything from anybody. Because my first husband told me, you need me, I don't need you. I said, a man will never be able to say that to me again. So I've always been independent and tenacious and had that, you don't tell me that. If you tell me no, I'm gonna prove you wrong. That's just been my attitude all my life. Don't say no to me. If you ever say no to me, I got something to prove.
Candi Staton, that is a great final word for this one-on-one edition of Studio 5. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Thank you so much for watching.